Prologue. Oceans crossed. 1. Sisters who plagued me the entire journey. 2. Brothers who suddenly became a duke. 1. Fearsome duchesses. 1. Lady Bridget's diary. London, 1824. Durham residence. The ballroom. One would think that having one's brother inherit a dukedom was a stroke of good fortune that would transform their lives from ho-hum to utterly fantastic. One would think that until one was on a reducing diet, stuffed into a tightly laced corset, and forced to practice walking backward. "Once again, Lady Bridget," the Duchess said crisply. She was Lady Bridget Cavendish now. Before, she had just been Bridget Cavendish of Duncraven Farm in Maryland. But then a letter had arrived one day with the unexpected news that their late father, God rest his soul, had inherited the title and died without knowing it. James was now a duke, and they were all to leave everything behind and travel to England immediately. "Yes, Lady Bridget. One more, please," Amelia said with a smirk. "Do shut up, Amelia," Bridget said under her breath. Younger sisters were quite annoying on any continent. "It's do shut up, Lady Amelia," Claire, the oldest sister, corrected. She found all the formality as ridiculous as the rest of the family, much to the despair of the Duchess. Somewhere about the massive house, probably in the stables, even though the Duchess made it perfectly clear dukes were above mucking about in the stables, was her brother James, or, as he was now to be known, His Grace the Duke of Durham. Dukes had many responsibilities, it seemed, but walking backward in a gown with an excessively long train was not one of them. Before her, with sharp blue eyes and perfectly coiffed blonde hair, was Josephine Marie Elizabeth Cavendish, Her Grace, the Duchess of Durham, widow of the 5th Duke and aunt to the Cavendish siblings. One did not call her Josie. Amelia had asked. "Remind me why we are learning to do something as ridiculous as walk backward," Claire asked. From a young age she had spent her free hours devoted to the study of mathematics, otherwise known as important work. Bridget's head ached just to think about it. "It is for your presentation at court," the Duchess replied, "which is necessary before your debut in society, which you must do in order to find a husband, which a lady must do, lest she become an impoverished spinster." "And what if we do not wish for a husband?" Amelia asked. "What a silly question," the Duchess replied. "Lady Bridget once again." At the Duchess's request, Bridget sank into a curtsy. They had practiced this extensively on Tuesday afternoon. Then, with as much grace as she could muster, Bridget rose and began to elegantly glide backward. Or so she tried. Feats of grace did not come easily to her, a point on which their dancing instructor would absolutely agree. Nothing about being a true lady did. Bridget had daydreamt through lessons on the order of precedence among members of the haute, how to properly pour a cup of tea, and all the other lessons on etiquette and deportment they endured morning, noon, and night. "Now, Lady Amelia, it is your turn." While the Duchess's attention was focused on her sisters, Bridget took advantage of her distraction to continue walking backward until she had crossed the length of the ballroom. Then she continued through the large double doors and halfway down the corridor, at which point she turned, lifted her skirts, and proceeded to the kitchens. Reducing diet, deportment lessons, and true ladiness be damned.